I gained 5 pounds, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, I gained 5 pounds last week. What's the big deal? I will kill you. I also have a secret. I actually was lying about my weight by accident. I thought I weighed 115 pounds. What do you mean doing zone 5 cardio burns up to 1,000 calories an hour? Also, why did they put this emoji on this chart? Oh my goodness, whoa. Also, third question, why am I doing zone 5 cardio if I wanna gain weight? Okay, I have a second secret. I have a little bit of an addiction to runner's high. I love the feeling of runner's high, which is literally doing certain exercises which activates your cannabinoids. It's essentially doing weed. It's essentially getting stoned, but it's better. But I had been fighting the addiction. I literally had been avoiding cardio exercises that I enjoy, which I know most people want to do more cardio. I know, my life is upside down, but I accidentally relapsed. I reignited the addiction because I went to Chimney Rock, which maybe you've been to, probably not. I don't think it's that popular, but maybe you know it's the mountain that looks like it showed in North Carolina. And there's 2 ways to get to the top. There's the elevator and there's 500 steps. And I love running up the steps. I can't sprint up 500 steps, so I usually end up collapsing on the stairs before reaching to the top, which literally it's an opportunity for me to exert my absolute 100% effort cardio-wise. And nobody else does it except for kids. I don't know what, like, come on, none of the adults are having any fun. They all go get on the elevator, and then it's just me and a bunch of kids sprinting up the stairs as fast as we can. Even though I got crushed by my very tiny competition, it reminded me how much I love that kind of activity. Okay, but this is a gaining video. Where the gaining at, my brothers? I made a mistake. Again, I love racking up mistakes, and that is that I took some advice from comments. Oh goodness, that sounded rude. I love each and every one of you in your own very special and unique way. I think of each and every one of you as I drift off to sleep. But the advice always goes, hey Alex, I think I have the key on how you should gain weight. So basically, once you finish eating everything you normally eat in a day, then you should eat 2 Domino pizzas on top. Or if you're not feeling pizza, then try to eat 2 to 3 burgers on top. Okay, in theory, this would make sense, yes. If you want to gain weight, you should just eat more. But in retrospect, it's a little bit like saying, hey, if you want to like build really big muscles, just do your regular exercise and then deadlift 500 pounds a few times. You'll probably build muscle pretty quickly. That is true. The problem is I can't pick up 500 pounds. I would end up just straining my body. I would probably injure myself if I tried to force myself to lift 500 pounds with all my might, because I cannot lift 500 pounds, which is, I didn't have to tell you that, you could tell already. Because in reality, I have to be patient and I have to be realistic, which are my 2 least favorite words in the dictionary after make, reptile, and videos. Today's the day, I'm getting back on it, I'm blocking in, and I'm gonna eat 3,400 calories a day. This is because I saw online the average guy will slow bulk if he eats 3,300 to 3,500 calories. So I was like, all right, simple enough. I'd prefer to fast bulk, but I guess slow bulk works too, so I do 3,400. But using this as a standard is kind of like using the average barbell weight for a guy as a standard. The average beginner squat for a man is 141 pounds. I couldn't do this. Like, if I put 141 pounds on the bar when I first squatted for the first time, it wasn't gonna move. I would have just... Okay, so when I started going to a group training session, this is how much weight I would have to squat, because he said anything more and my form was bad and I was clearly struggling. This is 65 pounds, which is actually the female average beginner weight. So I didn't want to have to do this much weight, but like this movement here, this was like genuinely, like it's only half my body weight, but I was actually struggling to the point where 3 sets of 6 of this weight, and I was like kind of out of commission. I don't actually know what I can squat now, but I'm curious if I can do 140 now. This is 95 pounds. And here is 145 pounds. Yeah, that's kind of heavy. I don't know how many reps of 145 I can do, even at this point. Just because the average beginner can do this, doesn't mean that I am the average beginner. I'm a freaking chud. I'm a freaking chud cell. I'm a weak little graper frog. So, do I squat much weight? No, not really. Do I squat consistently? Not really. And so imagine if every time I went back into squatting, I tried to squat an excessive amount, like 160 pounds, which I just can't do. That's how I was going into eating 3,400 calories a day or whatever. And so the solution to this when it came to lifting was starting with what was more comfortable and more doable. And in my case, it was my measly little 65 pounder. And over time, I was able to double that to the 120 pounds. Has progress been slow? Yes. Why? Because my diet sucks and because I'm inconsistent. Maybe someday I'll double that number again. And the most important thing for me to do that is not hurting myself. I need to be realistic and I need to be consistent. Which leads us into the dietary goal. I am naturally in a caloric deficit. If I just eat what I want on a day-to-day basis, I lose about a pound of weight per week. I learned this because a couple years ago, I lost 10 pounds in just a couple months. It was a little bit of a crash out, a little bit of a depressive spiral, but it did help me understand my body and that when I'm eating just enough to feel fine enough, I lose a substantial amount of weight because I don't get hungry, basically. I don't really get that hunger response. The same way people learn that I don't have a visual imagination, it now has a name, aphantasia. I'm a level 5 on the Apple scale, I can't see shit up in this bitch. It's kind of similar when it comes to getting hungry. I'm aware that most people out there get the feeling of hunger and they get the craving for food when that hunger hits. I don't personally really get that. Like, I know what it is, I have felt it before, and when it hits, I'm like, whoa. Like, what is this? Like, this is crazy. Like, if I could feel this every day, I'd be winning. And so with this came a weird goal that I realized on the surface sounds dumb, but in the long term actually makes sense. And that is that my goal starts myself in a caloric deficit. Which in retrospect, I know it sounds so simple, but I just was not able to accept previously that I can't start where most people start. I can't start in a surplus. I can't start with 3,000 calories a day, no matter how much I think it's just mind over matter and I just have to push myself. No, if I push myself, I just puke. Like, that's not helpful because then I start over at 0 calories. And what made this all harder is the fact that I can eat 3,400 calories in a day, but it's kind of just for one day. If I sit down and if I dedicate my whole day to it, I can cram 3,400 up in this baby. But then, by the end of the night, I feel lethargic, I feel gross, I feel nauseous, it wrecks my sleep, I wake up grumpy, and that sickness that leads into the next day results in me eating nothing the day after. By day 3, I'm feeling back to normal physically, but then I'm mentally in a bad mood because I know that, oh, I did one day so well, even though I had stomach cramps all night, I hit 3,400 calories, but then the next day I ate 0 calories, which then leads us into day 4, which is where I just give up again, and that's like my little mini vicious cycle. And so let's go to November of 2025, so just a few months ago, where I went through everything I just told you, and I was now at the point where I was like, okay, screw 3,400 calories. The goal was 2,500 calories for 30 days. I wasn't thrilled about this because I'm not consistent and I'm not patient. I just didn't find the goal exciting or motivating, and I really didn't want to do it, but I had been through all these other experiments already, so I was like, whatever. If I can't do this, I'm just gonna... And it came with the requirement that I truly dedicate everything to it, because if I can't even do this simple goal, like, what's even the point? Like, actual failure. And for 7 days straight, I did it, and unfortunately, it was harder than I expected. I realized that 2,500 calories is more than I thought, and that when I'm eyeballing how much I'm eating, I'm not close. This month, I was literally weighing every single food down to the gram and doing the calculations compared to try and eyeball how many calories this might have been, how many servings this might have been. I was spending hours each day just making sure I was tracking truly down to the calorie as closely as possible, as well as preparing a lot of food. But after 7 days, I fell off. I failed already. Just 7 into the 30 days, which I was like, oh my God. I ate very little food on that 8th day. However, instead of crashing the frick out and giving up, I tried to only look forwards this go around and continue each day as freshly as possible without being dragged down by the burden of failing the previous day. Now, something I tried to do in the past multiple times was create caloric debt for myself. So if I was 100 calories short yesterday, the first 100 calories I eat today goes towards yesterday's calorie debt. In short spurts, if I'm just 100 off one day, no big deal. But the problem is when it's 200 and then 300, and then I build up a debt of 500 calories for previous days, that's not as realistic. In fact, as I continue to track my calories, at one point, I ended up in a debt of tens of thousands of calories. Like, so I was like, all I gotta do is eat my regular 2,000 calories today, and then I have to eat 14,000 more calories to make up for the previous days. I ended up declaring caloric bankruptcy. I couldn't do it. I had to start over. Like, how am I supposed to make up 14,000 calories without eating like uranium? In November, I didn't do this. Each day was a fresh day, but not too fresh. I did keep in mind if I missed yesterday, I really didn't want to miss 2 days in a row. And so after that day I missed, I hit a 10-day streak of hitting my caloric goal before falling off again, and I failed for 3 days. But in spite of that, I then had another 6-day streak in November before ending the month on an actually bad day. I did very bad on the last day of November. I didn't even finish strong, but I finished. And something I haven't talked about yet is what I actually was eating. So I was eating out and cooking, overlapping each other. I would cook something and eat out, cook something and eat out. It didn't matter. Whatever I wanted, I would just eat it. I wasn't even prioritizing high calorie foods. So I'm gonna do 4, I guess. Oh no, oh my God. A common misconception is that I hate fruits and vegetables and healthy foods because I never eat them. I actually love them. Broccoli is probably one of my favorite foods, but broccoli is only 35 calories per cup. And if I eat 3 cups of broccoli, I'm kind of set for like a day. Okay, we're not cooking the egg yet. We gotta start the bacon. Did I buy bacon? I think I did. If I had stopped at Chick-fil-A, I'd already be eating it. Now, I'm still allowed to buy fast food. Like there's not really any rules to this. It's just a matter of consumption. But my hope is that if I basically eat out and also cook, I can just increase consumption. So I could have, if I wanted, I could have stopped at Chick-fil-A, but I was like, you know what? I'll start it off by making a meal. We're gonna go 1. But that's only 105 calories. Like, I can't live off 105 calories a day. But there was also a lot of my regular contenders, like straight milk, milkshakes, burgers, ribeyes, wings, pizza, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell. The raspberries I purchased are kind of rotten. God damn. I don't really see any mold. Okay, there's mold. Oh my God, they're molding. I just bought them. They're actually moldy. I spent $5 on this container of moldy raspberries. And at the end of the 30 days, my average consumption was below the goal, but it was higher than normal. I believe it was 2,200 calories a day averaged out over these 30 days. That's closer to the goal. And the number one reason is because I eliminated all other priorities. Eating was the number one priority over making money, over cleaning, answering emails, exercising, returning missed calls, going to bed on time, showering, like anything else in my life was second priority to eating. It was always, or drinking, like any calories inside of me was always number one priority. Okay, I've never made an omelet before, for the record. I've cooked eggs, but this is a new, I think I need a different spatula. Oh my God, where's my spatulas? Someone moved them. I think Claire moved them, okay. Oh, it's crusty. Chat, we are crusting around the corner. It's really thin. It's kind of like a crepe. A crap. I don't know what to do now. It's like the bottom of it's cooked, but I can't flip it like a pancake. Okay, let me turn it down like a lot. Let me just turn it off. And then I'm just gonna rub it, I guess. I don't like how it smells. Should I go ahead and fold it? I guess I'll put the cheese in now. I don't know how much cheese this is, so I don't know how to track those calories. Okay, it's very like, oh wait, did we just make a freaking omelet? We might be actually cooking here and not in the metaphorical sense. It looks really holy. Why is it filled with holes? Okay, boys, I think we just made history. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put the bacon in it. It's over. I guess the bacon's going next to it. Okay. Ready? Check this out. Fruit with my eggs and bacon. My rotten fruit with my pre-cracked egg, which I don't know how long that egg has been cracked in that container. And there is mold in this dish, but hey, a little rotten food never hurt nobody. Double fork action. Didn't matter how much it cost, how much time it took, what I was putting off, whether there was like a fire downstairs, I would ignore it. An issue I've had my entire life is I will go out and purchase food, or I'll cook food and something triggers in my brain where I'm suddenly disgusted and I can't eat it and I throw it away. Normally what I would do is go, well, I just spent $15 on this. I can't go buy more food for $15, or I just spent 30 minutes cooking this. I can't cook another 30 minutes, but this was not the case in November. If I cooked something, or if I purchased food that I suddenly couldn't eat or didn't want to eat, I would just repeat it immediately. Yes, this did cost me a bit of money. If I went to Taco Bell and I got my favorite meal and then something triggers me and I throw it all away, I would go back out, buy something else, and then try to eat that. If I failed, go back out, buy something else, eat that. Didn't matter how many credit cards I had to use, how much into savings I had to dip into, the priority was calories, calories, and calories. Oh my God, is this actually good? That's kind of perfect. Wait, did I actually clutch it? What's that? Like medium, like rare? Medium rare? And after 30 days of this, I didn't reach my goal. I ate 2,200 calories a day, which was 300 below per day on average, and I only gained 3 pounds, which being realistic was probably mostly water weight. So basically, I didn't really gain any muscle or fat. But, massive but, a butt that's bigger than mine ever will be, is I was pleased because it was probably the best I had done ever? I got so little done in November, like very little else happened. It was really just this one thing. That's 30 days of my life. And I was like, man, I dedicated a lot of time, but I felt more satisfied than I expected at the end, because even though I failed to reach the goalpost, I really genuinely applied myself. And so in December, I did worse, actually. I ate even fewer calories per day. So one issue I ran into is any day that I'm doing anything social, it's a lot more difficult. So in November, I was social 5 days. Wow, incredible. How many days did I miss my caloric goal? 6. It was basically every day I was doing something with other people that I failed to hit that goal, and that's because I was distracted. There were other things going on. There were other obligations I was fulfilling, and unfortunately, eating did not always stay top priority on those days. So in December, I recalibrated a little bit, and I started just carrying milk around with me. Like everywhere I went, I had jugs of milk with me. It looked like I was making some sort of weird statement, but I was actually just desperately trying to hold on to my caloric goal every day. And so in December, I drank 12 gallons of milk over the month, but I still fumbled. I ate an average of 200 calories less per day in December, which was even farther from that goal. But what did help is I was keeping very detailed track, and so there were no questions of why did this go the way it did. I can now very clearly see patterns of exactly what happened. Here's how much calories I ate, here's the days that it went bad, and here's why. The scale went up 2 pounds. So that was 3 pounds November, 2 pounds December, and who knows how much of it was water weight, but it's in the right direction. But more importantly is at the end of 2025, on January 1st, I was able to look back and tell myself I genuinely tried extremely hard for 60 days at this goal that I care about, which is something I really couldn't say before. I had these streaks of a week or 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks, but 60 days of truly trying was different. And it actually felt pretty good. It didn't feel great because I didn't see a lot of progress, but I was like, you know what? I'm mildly satisfied with this. And other good news is something that doesn't reflect in my data, but in how I feel, in that I don't feel as horrible when I eat a certain amount of calories. I was actually able to increase my personal baseline. Basically, to put it into numbers, eating 2,000 calories now feels like what eating 1,500 calories used to feel like. That is about 25% of an increase in like ability. But the fact that over 60 days, I was able to add a few hundred calories per day, and yes, I was still uncomfortable. I still did get nauseous many days, but something happened. So for these 2 months, I was uncomfortable. I got very little else done. I really didn't enjoy it in the moment. I don't like food any more than I did before, and it did cost a lot of money, but it didn't kill me. The scale went from 112 pounds to 117 pounds. Not huge, but it is weight. So as I continue January, really the biggest issue is just how little else I'm getting done. It's really hard to do other things I care about. I really struggle to socialize or exercise and get good amounts of work done. And traveling, I feel like is kind of completely off the table while I'm doing this. I really want to go more places. I really want to meet up with more people. It feels like I have to pick between these two right now, which is, do I want to gain weight and work on my fitness goals, or do I want to get out, see new places, and meet people? Because being realistic, I have no idea how to do both at the same time. So the question I'm asking myself all day, every day is this goal important enough to have a very boring, slow, and unprofitable start to 2026 to work on this goal? I don't know. Like every day I'm back and forth. I really want to give up every day. I really want to just frick off, get in my car, go drive some places, make some videos, which I think is a genuinely good thing to do, but I just know that I'm going to crumble again. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to be in a deficit, especially if I'm driving around. So I don't know what to do there. If you enjoy these videos, I have a Discord server. I'm active every day. It's not a fitness server or anything, but we do talk about food and fitness a lot there. It's just a community that's active literally all day. I'm there all day. You can come be my friend for just $5 a month. It's not a joke. I genuinely make my friends via the server, and you get access to members only videos. And I do have some more personal topics in regards to weight gain and stuff, as well as other stuff. Paywalled behind that because A, this is my job, and B, I don't need everyone to hear everything about my life. Sometimes I prefer a smaller audience, but if you want to become part of that smaller audience, you can do so. This video is not sponsored, so that's like, I guess, my little plug if you wish to become a channel member. Thank you to the channel members who are already here. You be making it possible for me to do this stuff, so that'll be it. I'm Alex. See you at 10 pounds gained?